Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So, continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 12th chapter, Birth of Emperor Parikshit, text number 18 onwards. Shri Rajuvacha Apyesh Vanshyan Rajarshin Punyashlokan Mahatmana Anuvartita Svidyashasa Sadhu Vadena Sattamaha. The good king Yudhishthir inquired, O great souls, will he become as saintly a king, as pious in his very name, and as famous and glorified in his achievements as others who appeared in this great royal family? So, this is Maharaj Yudhishthir inquiring from all the Brahmins who had come to bless, to perform the ceremony, uh, uh, cutting the umbilical cord ceremony of Maharaj Parikshit. And they had come to bless Maharaj Parikshit. So look at the questions Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking. Will he become as saintly a king, as pious in his very name, and as famous and glorified in his achievements? He didn't ask, is he going to conquer many countries or this or that? He wanted him to become saintly. And this is the utmost duty of a king. Purport. The forefathers of King Yudhishthir were all great saintly kings, pious and glorified by their great achievements. They were all saints on the royal throne, and therefore all the members of the state were happy, pious, well behaved, prosperous, and spiritually enlightened. Under strict guidance of the great souls and spiritual injunctions, such great saintly kings were trained up. And as a result, the kingdom was full of saintly persons and was a happy land of spiritual life. So they knew what's the ultimate purpose of life, and they were guiding the population on that path. And not just guiding, they were themselves following. So it's called saintly kings. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna called them Raja Rishis. They were Rajas and Rishis. They were saints at the same time. Maharaj Yudhishthir was himself a replica of his ancestors, and he desired that the next king after him become exactly like his great forefathers. He was happy to learn from the learned Brahmins that by astrological calculations the child had been born a first great devotee of the Lord. And now he wants to know with confidence whether the child will follow in the footsteps of his great forefathers. So that is the way of monarchical state. The reigning king should be pious, chivalrous devotee of the Lord, and fear personified for the upstarts. So he should be pious, he should be a devotee of the Lord. Chivalrous devotee means he should not show his back to the enemies, and fear personified for the upstarts. He is merciful, but at the same time, all these thieves and rogues should not be able to survive in his kingdom. He must also leave an heir apparent equally qualified to rule over the innocent citizens. Now, Prabhupada is comparing that to the modern day uh, governments. In the modern setup of the democratic states, the people themselves have fallen to the qualities of the Shudra or less. And the government is run by a representative of theirs who has not been trained according to the spiritual mode of administrative education. Thus, the whole atmosphere is surcharged with Shudra qualities manifested by lust and avarice. Such administrators quarrel every day among themselves. The cabinet of ministers change often due to party and group selfishness. Everyone wants to exploit the state resources till he dies. No one retires from political life unless forced to do so. How can such low grade men do good for the people? The result is corruption, intrigue, and hypocrisy. They should learn from Srimad Bhagavatam how ideal the administrators must be before they can be given charge of different posts. So modern day politics or modern day government administration is not an ideal administration. Nobody is following any scriptural rules. And basically, Prabhupada is saying everybody is a Shudra or less, and they choose another Shudra to run the government over them. How is it possible that the Shudras make the right decisions? Not possible at all. Text 19. Partha Prajavita Saksha Dikshava Kuriva Manava. Yeah, Brahmana Uchu Partha Prajavita Saksha Dikshava Kuriva Manavaha Brahmanya Satya Sandhascha Ramo Dasharathir Yatha. The learned Brahman said, O son of Pritha, this child shall be exactly like King Ikshvaku, son of Manu, in maintaining all those who are born. And as for following in the Brahmanical principles, especially in being true to his promise, he shall be exactly like Ram, the personality of Godhead, the son of Maharaj Dashrath. So this is how great this King Maharaj Parikshit is going to be. That's what the Brahmins are forecasting, telling in front, up front. So Prabhupada first he speaks about the Praja, because in the verse, this verse, word Praja means anybody born, the living being who has taken birth in the material world, anyone, whether it's an insect or a bird or animal or a human being. The saintly kings give protection to all the prajas, or the living beings, to live and to fulfill their terms of imprisonment, to fulfill their terms of being in that body. Maharaj Parikshit was actually an ideal saintly king because while touring his kingdom, he happened to see that a poor cow was about to be killed by the personified Kali, whom he at once took to task as a murderer. This means that even the animals were given protection by the saintly administrators, not from any sentimental point of view, but because those who have taken birth in the material world have the right to live. And Maharaj Parikshit was compared to Maharaj Ikshvaku, who was the son of Manu and who was a forefather in the line of Lord Ram. And this Ikshvaku name came in Bhagavad Gita also, when Krishna says, "No, I gave the knowledge to Manu. I gave the knowledge to Sun God gave it to Manu gave it to Ikshvaku, and in this way, the knowledge has been transferred on earth." And then Brahmins compared. Okay, so Prabhupada gave little synopsis of everybody, like Maharaj Ikshvaku, one of the sons of Vavasvat Manu. He had 100 sons. He prohibited meat eating. His son Shashad became the next king after his death. And Manu, the Manu mentioned in this verse as the father of Ikshvaku, is the seventh Manu of the name Vavasvat Manu, the son of sun god Vivaswan, to whom Lord Krishna instructed the teachings of Bhagavad Gita prior to his teaching them to Arjuna. Mankind is descendant of Manu. This Vavasvat Manu had 10 sons named Ikshvaku, Nabhag, Drishta, Sharyati, Narishyanda, Nabhag, Dishta, Karusha, Prasadra, and Vasuman. The Lord's incarnation, Matsya, was invented during the beginning of Vavasvat Manu's reign. He learned the principles of Bhagavad Gita from his father Vivaswan, the sun god, and he re-instructed the same to his son Maharaj Ikshvaku. So in the beginning of Treta Yuga, the sun god instructed devotion service to Manu, and Manu in its turn returned to Ikshvaku for the welfare of the whole human society. And then Lord Ram, obviously we know a lot about Lord Ram. So Prabhupada gives a little synopsis of Lord Ram and his pastimes. And Ram Rajya, Lord Ram, how he ruled over Ayodhya and through Ayodhya, rest of the world. is very ideal, and that's why people still are looking for Ram Rajya. They say there should be Ram Rajya, or the person who gets elected, who's a king, that he says, "I will rule as Ram. There will be Ram Rajya all over my kingdom." But there is a problem. For Ram Rajya to happen, first of all the population, the whole population has to be devotee of Lord Ram. Then and then only Ram Rajya can happen. So king could be like Lord Ram. First of all, that's not possible these days. But the population also has to be a devotee of Ram. Then only Ram Rajya can happen. Since both these things are not going to happen, so we're not going to have Rama Rajya now. Text 20. एष दाता शरण्यश्च यथा हि ओषि नरः शिबिः यथोवित नितः स्वानां दोष्यन्तरेर्यज्वनाम्. This child will be a beneficent donor of charity and protector of the surrendered, like the famous King Shibi of Bushinar country. And he will expand the name and fame of his family like Bharat, the son of Maharaj Dushyant. So this King Shibi, wonderful story. It will come later in Bhagavatam, but Prabhupada gave a little synopsis of that. Maharaj Shibi was an associate of great Vaishnava authority Yamraj. While he was on the earth, he became very famous as a protector of surrendered souls and a donor of charities. The king of heaven, Indra, once took the shape of a pigeon hunter, bird, eagle, and Agni, the fire god, took the shape of a pigeon. The pigeon, while being chased by the eagle, took shelter on the lap of Maharaj Shibi, and the hunter eagle wanted the pigeon back from the king. The king wanted to give it some other meat, to give the eagle some other meat to eat, and requested the bird not to kill the pigeon. The hunter bird refused to accept the king's offer. But it was settled later on that the eagle would accept flesh from the body of the king of the equivalent to pigeon's weight. The king began to cut flesh from his body to weigh in the balance equivalent to the weight of the pigeon. But the mystic pigeon always remained heavier. Now the pigeon was fire god and the eagle was Indradev himself. So they were testing Maharaj Shibi. He was known for his charity. And so they were testing how a charitable person he is. So once this eagle was trying to kill this pigeon and eat, and the pigeon flew and took shelter at the lap of Maharaj Shibi. Now eagle came there, and Maharaj Shibi said, "I cannot give you this pigeon. He has already taken shelter of me. He surrendered to me." So he told eagle, "Okay, I'll give you some other bird to eat. Why this pigeon? This pigeon has taken shelter." Eagle said, "No, I want this pigeon only. This is my food. You cannot take away my right to live." Okay. Then after lots of discussion, arguments, Maharaj Shivi said, "Okay, I cannot give you this pigeon because he has taken my shelter. I will give you flesh equal to the weight of this pigeon, my own flesh. I'll cut up from my body and give it to you." So then the eagle agreed. So it was a test going on. So there was a balance was called for. So on one side the pigeon was kept. Other side, Maharaj Shivi first cut little flesh from his thigh and kept it on the balance. Well, he thought that much flesh is okay to weigh the pigeon, to be equal to the weight of pigeon. But surprisingly, the pigeon was heavier. And then Maharaj Shibi kept on cutting the flesh from his own body and keeping on that scale. But still, the pigeon was heavier. In the end, Maharaj Shibi, after just imagine cutting up your own flesh. It's not easy, it's not joke. I mean, we read it just like that. But it's not, just imagine if you think about it, how difficult this must be. But Maharaj Shibi was so determined to save that pigeon. Why? Because he had taken shelter of me. That's it. So in the end, Maharaj Shivi said, "Forget it. I cannot cut enough flesh to be equivalent to the weight of this pigeon." So himself sat in the balance, in the scale, weighing scale. But then the weight was too much, and then Indra and Agni they came in their real form and they told Maharaj Shivi, "We were testing you." But this is how the test could be. Of course, hopefully it's not going to be for us that we have to cut up our body to save a pigeon's life. But the nature of the test will be very difficult. It depends. Like Maharaj Shivi was we can say he was in the postgraduate class, so the test was difficult. We are in elementary school, not even elementary. We are in nursery school. So what difficult the test will be for us. But even for the nursery school, from that standard, the test will be difficult. But obviously not as difficult as for Maharaj Shivi. But unless until we give the test and we pass, we cannot go to the next grade. So the tests will come in the life and we have to pass. Passing means more we get surrendered, more we get realizations from that test, and we still remain focused in our bhakti, focused in our sadhana and service and association and other activities. That means we have passed the test. Okay, the king then put himself on the balance to equate with the pigeon, and the demigods were very pleased with him. The king of heaven and the fire god disclosed their identity, and the king was blessed by them. Devarshi Narad also glorified Maharaj Shivi for his great achievements, especially specifically in charity and protection. So, and the Brahmins are saying that this child Parikshit he will be equivalent to Maharaj Shivi in charity and protection. Now about Bharat Maharaj, who is the son of Dushyant. Dushyanti Bharat. There are many Bharats in history, of which Bharat, the brother of Lord Ram, Bharat, the son of King Rishabh, and Bharat, the son of Maharaj Dushyant, are very famous. And all these Bharats are historically known to the universe. This earth planet is known as Bharat or Bharatvarsha due to King Bharat, the son of Rishabdev. But according to some, this land is known as Bharat due to the reign of son of Dushyant. So Prabhupada says, as long as we are concerned, the land's name Bharatvarsh was established from the reign of Bharat, the son of King Rishabh. So King Rishabdev's son. But some people say this land is named Bharatvarsh because of the son of Maharaj Dushyant. Anyway, before him, the land was known as Ilavati Varsh, but just after the coronation of Bharat, the son of King Rishabh, this land became famous as Bharat Varsh. But despite all this, Bharat, the son of Maharaj Dushyant, was not less important. He is a son of the famous beauty Shakuntala. Maharaj Dushyant fell in love with Shakuntala in the forest and Bharat was conceived. After that, Maharaj forgot his wife Shakuntala by the curse of Kanva Muni, and the child Bharat was brought up in the forest by his mother. Even in his childhood, he was so powerful that he challenged the lions and elephants in the forest and would fight with them as little children play with cats and dogs. Because of the boys becoming so strong, more than the so called modern Tarzan, the rishis in the forest called him Sarvadaman, or one who is able to control everyone. A full description of Maharaj Bharat is given in the Mahabharat Adi Parva. The Pandavas or the Kurus are sometimes addressed as Bharat due to being born in the dynasty of this Bharat, the son of Dushyant. So he was so powerful that while living in the forest, he would play with lions and elephants. And it's mentioned somewhere he would grab hold of the elephant and lion with their tails. One hand there will be an elephant, and on the other hand there will be the lion. And he would grab hold of their tails and he would bring them closer with force and tie up their tails together so they could not run away. So that's how powerful he was. And that too when he was a little child, not when he was grown up. He was just a little child when he used to do all these things. Dhanvi namagrirnidesh tulyaschaर्जुन yordvayo hutasha ev durdharsha samudra ev dustaraha. Among great bowmen, this child will be as good as the Arjun. He'll be as irresistible as fire and as unsurpassable as the ocean. In history, there are two Arjunas. One is Kartavirya Arjun, the son of Hehai, and the other is the grandfather of the child. Both the Arjunas are famous for their bowmanship, and the child Parikshit is foretold to be equal to both of them, particularly in fighting. So we all know about uh, his grandfather Arjun. So Prabhupada gave a little bit in detail some synopsis of his life. Text 22. Mrigendra eva vikranto nishevya himavaniva titikshur vasu devaso sahishnu pitraviva. This child will be as strong as a lion and as worthy a shelter as the Himalaya mountains. He will be forbearing like the earth and as tolerant as parents. One is compared to the lion when one is very strong in chasing an enemy. One should be lamb at home and at lion in the chase. The lion never fails in the chase of an animal. Similarly, the head of the state should never fail in chasing an enemy. The Himalaya mountains are famous for all richness. There are innumerable caves to live in, numberless trees of good fruit to eat, good springs to drink water from, and profuse drugs and minerals to cure diseases. Any man who's not materially prosperous can take shelter of these great mountains, and he will be provided with everything required. So the mountains provide everything that we need. Both the materialist and the spiritualist can take advantage of the great shelter of the Himalayas. On the surface of the earth, there are so many disturbances created by the inhabitants. In the modern age, the people have begun to detonate atomic weapons on the surface of the earth, and still the earth is forbearing to the inhabitants, like a mother who excuses a little child. People are always tolerant to children for all sorts of mischievous acts. So, an ideal king may be possessed of all these qualities, and the child king is foretold to have all these qualities in perfection. So, he will be tolerant as parents. So, parents are always tolerant to children for all sorts of mischievous acts. So, this is how his qualities are described. Pitamaha samaha samye prasade girishopamaha ashya sarvabhutanam yata devo ramashrayaha. This child will be like his grandfather Yudhishthir or Brahma in equanimity of mind. So they are telling Yudhishthir Maharaj that he'll be like you. He will be magnificent like the Lord of the Kailash hill Shiva, and he will be the resort of everyone, like the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan, who is even the shelter of the goddess of fortune. So basically, they're telling Yudhishthir Maharaj that this child will be like Brahmaji, Shivji, and Narayan himself. Means he will have so many good qualities. Mental equanimity, like the grandfathers, refers to both Maharaj Yudhishthir and Brahma, the grandfather of all living beings. According to Sridhar Swami, the grandfather referred to is Brahma, but according to Vishwanath Chakravarti, the grandfather is Maharaj Yudhishthir himself. So even the Vaishnav commentators can have different realizations of the same words, and they can say things differently. So a commentator, Sridhar Swami, who's the original commentator on Bhagavatam in Gaudiya line, So he says the word grandfather here refers to Brahmaji. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, another Acharya in our line, he says the word grandfather refers to Maharaj Yudhishthira himself. So this is the realization. They both could be correct. I don't know. But in both cases, the comparison is equally good because both of them are recognized representatives of the Supreme Lord. And thus, both of them have to maintain mental equanimity, being engaged in welfare work for the living being. Any irresponsible executive agent at the top of administration has to tolerate different types of obstacles from the very person for whom he works. So even Brahmaji got criticized by gopis. Why the gopis? Gopis said Brahmaji, he does not even have brains. Gopis are Brajvasis. They can speak in the way they want to. Nobody can stop them. Even Krishna cannot stop them. So gopis say, Brahmaji, he does not even have brains. Now why they say that? They say because Brahmaji, he's supposed to be creator. He's supposed to have some knowledge. And he has created these eyelids which keep on closing themselves every moment or few moments. And for this duration of closing of our eyelids, which is called nimesh, nimesh means a closing of time of a closing of the eyelid, we cannot take darshan of Krishna. That is their love for Krishna. Even for nimesh matra, they cannot live without taking darshan of Krishna. And for that, they said, look at Brahmaji. He has created this eyelid. He does not have any brains. He doesn't know anything. And obviously, Brahmaji cannot argue with the gopis. So he had to take that blame. So Lord Shiva, then he is, Parikshit Maharaj is compared to Lord Shiva also. Lord Shiva is a demigod celebrated for awarding gifts to beggars. His name is therefore Ashutosha, one who is pleased very easily. So Prabhupada is quoting this story of Vrikasura. Vrikasura, he did tapasya and he pleased Lord Shiva. And when Lord Shiva appeared, the benedictions Vrikasura asked for, oh, whoever head I touch with my hand, that person's head should burst into pieces and he should die. Lord Shiva was bound to give him that benediction. And after getting that benediction, Vrikasura ran after Lord Shiva himself because he got attracted to Parvati and he said, and he thought, let me touch this Shiva's head with my hand and let me kill him and I'll enjoy with Parvati. So this is demon, these are asuras. This is what they do. So then Prabhupada talks about Rama. Rama means the goddess of fortune and her shelter is Lord Vishnu. So talking about Lakshmi Ji. So we should therefore seek the protection of Vishnu instead of directly seeking the protection of the goddess of fortune. Because goddess of fortune has taken shelter of Vishnu, so she stays there permanently. So this is why the Brahmins are comparing Parikshit Maharaj to Brahmaji, Shivji and Vishnu. Because Vishnu can give protection to all. And this child, they say, will give protection to all. So I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one question on demigods. We have mentioned, it's mentioned that uh, except Krishna, except Lord Vishnu, others are demigods. And demigods itself means it's of a little bit, it doesn't have that post of Krishna or Lord Vishnu. So now Lord Vishnu, we know that he always remembers always think about Lord Shiva, and kind of, and Lord Shiva thinks about Hari, or the other name Lord Vishnu or Shri Krishna. So why is it then named as demigod for the others? Are they not equal, or what is the reason?
No. They are not equal to Vishnu. They are not equal at all. Demigods, or in Hindi, it's called Devta. Actually, Devi Devta. So, what does it mean, Devta? Devta means one who gives. Devi is a lady who gives. Devta is a man who gives. So they give lots of material benedictions. So in that way, Krishna is also a Devta in the literal sense. Means he also gives. But his giving is different. So these demigods or Devi Devta, they're in charge of different departments of the universe, of the material universe. Um, Keeping aside Shiva, Hanumanji, Durgaji, all the demigods, they have material bodies. Means they have a lifespan. The lifespan is the period of one Manu. One Manu rules for 71 Chatur Yogas. So the demigods, they along with Manu, they also take care of different departments for one Manvantar. So 71 Chatur Yogas. So after that, the demigods change. Except Brahmaji lives for 100 years of his life. And after that, the living entity who came as Brahmaji, the body, he leaves the body, and then depending upon whether he's a pure devotee, he goes back to the spiritual world, or if not, then he has to come down in the different species of life. So, and Krishna at the same time, he always has spiritual body. He never accepts any material body. And Krishna does not live for 71 Chaturyugas. He's eternal. He's always there. So there's a difference. And the demigods, because they're in charge of different departments in the material universe, and as servants of Krishna, they are given this duty or responsibility that anybody who worships them, anybody who pleases them, according to whatever the mode given in scriptures, they are duty bound to give that person some benediction. So just like Vrikasura, he pleased Lord Shiva by his tapasya. But in the end, he asked for, like, whoever's head I touch with my hand, that head should burst into pieces and the person should die. If that Vrikasura had worshipped and did some austerity to please Krishna, and if he had asked the same benediction from Krishna, Krishna would have never given him that benediction. So the another major difference between demigods and Krishna is demigods give what we want. Krishna gives what we need. It's a huge difference. Is that okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes,
Okay.
thank you for explaining so nicely.
You're welcome. Hare Krishna. Any other question or comment?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, please don't say we are stopping here. I'll stop the class. This is so good. I just wanted it should continue. So I don't know. I mean, it's very interesting to hear every day. So I was just saying, khatam ho gaya, itni jaldi, and I saw the watch. It was already 9. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Well, you are at work. I'm the only one who doesn't do any work, so I can go on, but you have to work.
No, Prabhuji, you are giving us. I would say, daily enlightenment and, bringing us back to reality every day, which is very necessary. So thank you to you. Thanks a lot to you, Prabhuji.
Actually, reading Bhagavatam brings the reality back in me also. Otherwise, I live in the dream world. So I'm thankful to all of you to give me a chance to read Bhagavatam every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. I think
Thank you,
now
Prabhuji.
we are ready for a 1 hour class.
Some devotees have to work also, not like me and you. Of course, you work, but you go later.
Yes.
Probably one question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Probably in your answer you said Krishna has discretion over the benediction. So probably sometimes we read the Mahamantra gives all material benefits as well because it's Mahamantra.
Mhm.
And so probably at the end you say Krishna sees whether that benediction is good or not for the devotee.
Mhm.
So in the end, Krishna doesn't give. So
I didn't
mean,
say that. I said he gives what we need.
okay,
So even Mahamantra is not different from Krishna. So Mahamantra can also give anything and everything. But it depends on whether we really need it, and when we need it, that's when he gives, not when we want it.
okay,
So Krishna decides when, how, where, how much, that Krishna decides.
okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, okay. Bro.
Okay. Chalo. Thank you all very much. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Jai Srila
Prabhuji. Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.